Hi, this is Don Farber with VineyardSoft Corporation. We're the developers of the KNOWLEDGESYNC Active Alerts solution. Thanks for spending about 10 to 15 minutes with me today to learn more about the KNOWLEDGESYNC application. You know, when folks come up to me and say, Don, exactly what is KNOWLEDGESYNC or what can it do? I tell them that I can answer that question in just 3 words. Identify, notify, and update. But before we talk more about those 3 words, I'd like to start out by discussing why a technology like KNOWLEDGESYNC has become so important for organizations today. Over the last 10 years or so, the amount of business information that organizations have to manage, have to get their arms around, has grown exponentially. Sales information, customer service details, financial transactions, manufacturing processes, and so on. And it's just a plain fact that organizations today don't have the time or resources to keep on top of and stay aware of critical business information. And to put it quite simply, stuff happens. In a lot of cases, by the time an organization does become aware of this critical business information, it's either too late or the information is too old to be of much use. And that's what's given rise to a class of software called Business Activity Monitoring, or BAM software, as if the industry needed yet another acronym. Nevertheless, the purpose behind a BAM technology is to identify, deliver, and act on critical business information in a timely fashion. Now, a few years back, the Gartner Group and other industry analysts put their heads together to identify exactly what a BAM technology should do, and they came up with the following. First of all, a BAM technology needs to be able to monitor business data. And this business data needs to be able to be drawn from all parts of an organization: sales, service, manufacturing, accounting, etc. This information even needs to come from incoming email messages or website submissions. This information can even come from an organization's own operating systems. Now, the BAM technology engine, when it monitors for such conditions and finds them, needs to respond to those conditions in certain ways. And these analysts identified 3 different ways that a BAM technology should be able to respond to such business conditions. First of all, the sending of alerts. Alerts that can be sent to employees, customers, prospects, suppliers, and partners. And also the ability to send out forms, documents, and reports, like sending an invoice to a customer when they place a new order, or perhaps sending an AR aging report to a CFO about a particularly overdue client. And these industry analysts specified that a BAM technology needs to be able to execute workflow, to write information back into the business applications that your organization relies on, such as scheduling an intelligent follow-up activity for a customer, or simply updating a contact's history with the details of what has or has not happened to them. It could also just be for the purpose of moving information from one application to another to make sure that your databases are kept in sync. Now, we here at VineyardSoft took this model to heart when we designed KNOWLEDGESYNC. And we start out by allowing KNOWLEDGESYNC to monitor information within any application database. Now, we use Microsoft ODBC, that stands for Open Database Connectivity, and it allows KNOWLEDGESYNC to connect to and monitor data within any application database, whether it's an Oracle database, Microsoft SQL Server, Access, DBase, ProvideX, etc. And it gives KNOWLEDGESYNC the ability to identify any condition of data that's important to your organization, whether it's a prospect who hasn't been contacted in a certain number of days, a lease or contract that's about to expire, the fact that a new order is placed, or perhaps simply the fact that a client has had their credit limit or credit status changed. When designing KNOWLEDGESYNC, we also realized that organizations receive a heck of a lot of information via incoming email. And we designed KNOWLEDGESYNC to be able to monitor incoming email messages, and this is in fact one of many uses of KNOWLEDGESYNC that we have here at VineyardSoft. We use KNOWLEDGESYNC to monitor email messages that are sent to our support mailbox. That's support@vineyardsoft.com. When an incoming message is sent to that address, KNOWLEDGESYNC picks up the message. It checks the email address of the sender against contacts within our CRM database. KNOWLEDGESYNC takes the content of the email, creates a support ticket out of it, sends a confirmation message back to the original sender, and KNOWLEDGESYNC notifies our entire support staff that a new ticket requires their attention. Now, I mentioned that KNOWLEDGESYNC can monitor information within any number of application databases. Well, we take that one step further, and we give KNOWLEDGESYNC the ability to monitor and identify conditions between or across multiple applications. For example, you might have a CRM application from one vendor and a financial application that you purchased from another vendor. With KNOWLEDGESYNC, you could set up an event that sends an alert whenever someone enters a new sales opportunity in your CRM application for a customer who's on credit hold within your financial application. KNOWLEDGESYNC also provides the ability to monitor the operating system, whether it's looking for low disk space on a database server, a full Exchange mailbox, or perhaps just someone trying to break into one of the servers within your organization. We also provide in KNOWLEDGESYNC a module called Delivery Monitoring. Now, this came to be about 5 or so years ago by virtue of a very specific customer request. We received a phone call at VineyardSoft from a client who said that they had configured KNOWLEDGESYNC to send out alerts via pager. But in some cases, the pager message would not go out because the pager number or PIN was wrong, and this particular client needed KNOWLEDGESYNC to fail over that alert to an alternate person after 5 minutes. Now, when we were talking to this client, we said 5 minutes. Gee, that's kind of severe. I mean, this isn't life or death we're talking about here, is it? Well, we chose our words poorly because this particular client turned out to be an EMT organization, Emergency Medical Technicians, and they were using KNOWLEDGESYNC to page doctors based upon the symptoms of patients that were picked up by an ambulance corps. And in fact, sometimes doctors would change their pager number or PIN and not notify the local hospital. So we built into KNOWLEDGESYNC this module to monitor the delivery status of alert messages. And in the case of this client, when KNOWLEDGESYNC now goes to send an alert to page a doctor, if the pager message does not go through within 5 minutes, KNOWLEDGESYNC fails over the alert either to an alternate doctor or to a nurse's station. That happened to be the very last time any of us here at VineyardSoft referred to KNOWLEDGESYNC as not life or death software. Now, if we turn our attention to the methods by which KNOWLEDGESYNC can respond to these triggered events, first and foremost, KNOWLEDGESYNC can send out alerts via email, fax, pager, cell phone, Palm Pilot, Screen Pop, web browser. All of these delivery methods are included in KNOWLEDGESYNC. You do not have to purchase any additional hardware or software. We often get asked what email systems KNOWLEDGESYNC supports, and it's an easy answer. All of them. Microsoft Outlook or Exchange-based email, Internet or SMTP-based email, Lotus Notes mail, etc. Now, in KNOWLEDGESYNC, we also embed the Crystal Reports application. This gives KNOWLEDGESYNC the ability to automatically generate and deliver forms, documents, and analytical reports. For example, KNOWLEDGESYNC can be configured to automatically send an invoice to a customer in PDF format as a result of a new order being entered. Or if KNOWLEDGESYNC finds out that a specific client's receivables has grown too high, KNOWLEDGESYNC can automatically generate an AR aging report for that particular customer and send that report to the appropriate account manager. KNOWLEDGESYNC supports Crystal versions 8.5 through version 11. The final module within KNOWLEDGESYNC is our workflow, or as we like to call it, the triggered update module. This is the ability for KNOWLEDGESYNC to take information from a triggered event and use that information to add or update records within the business applications that your organization relies on. For example, if a customer has not been contacted within a certain amount of time, we might want KNOWLEDGESYNC to automatically schedule a phone call or meeting within our CRM application. Or if we receive an incoming email message from a client, we might want KNOWLEDGESYNC to pick up that email, take the contents of the message, and add it to the customer's history, again, within one of our underlying business applications. Now we've talked a bit about KnowledgeSync's functional capabilities, and now I'd like to turn our attention to some real live business uses of the KnowledgeSync technology. Now the slide that you're looking at currently is going to show us somewhere around 12 to 15 or so sample uses of KnowledgeSync. These are drawn from real live client implementations around the world. I'd actually like to draw your attention to the fifth item on this list on the left-hand side, the business condition that's called Biggest Client's Monthly Sales Drops 30%. I had the opportunity to work with this particular client. They were in an industry where their customers purchased from them on a repeat basis, month after month after month. But in some cases, some of those clients would start to decrease their monthly sales, and this particular organization wanted to know whenever a customer significantly changed their buying habits. They set up KnowledgeSync at the end of every month to look at what each customer had purchased during that month, and then compare that total to the customer's average monthly purchases based upon the preceding 6 months. And in their case, if for the month just ended the customer's sales had dropped at least 30%, KnowledgeSync would send an alert message to the appropriate account manager for that person to follow up with that customer and find out why their buying habits had changed so dramatically. Right. We've given you some business scenarios. We've talked about the technology. That leaves us to talk about the company behind the technology, or VineyardSoft Corporation. Now, we've been around since 1998. We are one of the first providers of commercially available business activity monitoring software. To date, there are just over 3,500 organizations worldwide using the KnowledgeSync application. And those organizations range the spectrum in terms of size and configuration from small 5 to 10 person, one location organizations through multinational corporations, members of the Fortune 100, Fortune 500 list, and so on. I should also mention that KnowledgeSync is an approved add-on solution to a number of the leading front office and back office applications on the market today. KnowledgeSync is an approved add-on to Sage Software Solutions, Microsoft Solutions, products by Exact Software, and a number of other application vendors. Speaking of application vendors, over the years that KnowledgeSync has been used, we've seen it put into place to integrate with a number of different front office and back office applications, such as those by Microsoft and Sage Software and Exact Software. And here at VineyardSoft, we've created pre-configured collections of KnowledgeSync events for use with about 45 to 50 different front office and back office software solutions. If you happen to be using one or more of these products, you can download and install these event packs. They are provided to you for free, no additional cost, along with the KnowledgeSync solution. And of course, you can use KnowledgeSync to not only create additional events of your own, but to customize these pre-configured events to make them more appropriate and specific to your organization's specific needs. Okay. Let's take a few moments then to look at some feedback regarding KnowledgeSync from a variety of KnowledgeSync clients, including the Seattle Times in media and publishing, down through Davidson Oil, a petroleum company. But I'd also like to specifically draw your attention down to the very last quotation on this page from an organization called TMC Labs. TMC Labs is an independent product testing and review organization. A while back, they reviewed the KnowledgeSync application, and they gave it their Editor's Choice Award for Outstanding Software Application. Which brings me to the end of our presentation today, and brings us all back to the 3 words that adequately describe what KnowledgeSync is all about: identify, notify, and update. We invite you to learn more about the KnowledgeSync solution by contacting us here at VineyardSoft via either phone, email, or our website. We have additional materials that you can download on KnowledgeSync to learn more about the technology, the process whereby events are designed, or how the product is being used in different industries. We have case studies, as well as audio interviews, podcasts that you can download and listen to at your leisure. You're also invited to download the live KnowledgeSync software. It is an evaluation version of the product. It's good for 30 days, and it is the live shipping software. We invite you to download it, install it, pull down some of the event packs to go with it. And if you have any questions or difficulties as you're using it, feel free to contact our support department as you are giving KNOWLEDGESYNC a try. Thank you again for your interest in KNOWLEDGESYNC. My name is Don Farber. I thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to the opportunity to work with you.